Hey, it's Alexander Creek, Astrologer Intuitive. Welcome back. We're going to be talking about the astrology of around May 10th through May 18th in this video. Really talking about the full moon in Scorpio and the astrology surrounding it. I did talk about the full moon in Scorpio for each of the 12 rising signs in my May 2025 forecast video, so go check that out. I'm going to talk a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit about the astrology for each of the signs with that full moon in this video too, but that monthly video goes a little bit more in detail for like each individual sign. And we're going to be kind of going more in depth in this video of the astrology of that full moon and the different kind of astrology aspects surrounding it. So maybe watch both if you want. So remember, if you're liking what you're seeing, make sure that you like the video. That maybe leave me a comment. Let me know how you're feeling this full moon energy, and also turn on those notifications so you don't miss a video. So let's go ahead and dive. And I almost forgot. My website is dogstarOracle.com. DOG like the dog, staroracle.com. That info is in the show notes. If you want to book a session with me, I do in-depth astrological chart readings. We look at year ahead forecasts. So it's a great reading if you're like on your birthday, if you wanted to kind of get some insight on the year ahead. And I do give you specific dates and like things to look out for. Also, I also do psychic medium readings as well if you're kind of wanting to talk to your spirit guides. So info for that is below. I am booking for the second half of May now. I'm booked through May 18th. So I'm also taking a little time off for my birthday because May 13th is my birthday. So I was like, let's take a little time off. So a little time off from client work at least. So, okay, let's start talking about this week's astrology. So first thing I want to mention is Mercury is going to go into Taurus, Mercury being the planet of communication, messages, how we think. Mercury kind of is about like mercantile things and like the markets. As well. And Mercury is kind of speeding through the zodiac right now, which I think is a good thing because that means it's not getting ready to go retrograde. So when Mercury starts to slow down, I'm like, oh fucking god, here we go. There's another Mercury retrograde. But it's gonna, so it's sped through Aries. It's gonna be kind of basically speeding through Taurus. It's only gonna be in Taurus until about May 25th. Couple notes about Mercury and Taurus. Mercury and Taurus is a fan of like practical, kind of solid things. We might have and this is just kind of like a very general forecast, but Mercury in Taurus may have us kind of more focused on like money things or financial things or our security. It does get a little more interesting on May 18th when Mercury squares Mars. So that's kind of mostly what we're going to talk about with Taurus, with Mercury going into Taurus. So let's talk about this full moon on May 12th. And I'm going to show you my screen as well. We have the chart for roughly the full moon here. The full moon will be about 22 degrees of Scorpio. Let me pull up my notes so I'm not missing anything. So, first of all, this full moon in Scorpio, it does fall about 5:30 p.m. Oh, wait, maybe. Might be a little bit earlier in the day, about maybe 2:30 p.m. Denver time, Denver, Colorado time. We'll still kind of feel that full moon energy and really think through a lot of the week because there is going to be a conjunction of the sun to Uranus on May 17th. So, we would say kind of like a full moon energy is like, oh, like, I don't know, a couple days or so, but this kind of feels like it really kind of extends it. This is, I think, one of the most powerful full moons of the year. First of all, the moon in Scorpio. The moon is not super comfy in the sign of Scorpio. The moon really prefers to be in Taurus or Cancer. Taurus is Scorpio's opposite sign. The moon loves to be in kind of cozy, solid, sensual Taurus. The moon is technically would be considered sort of in her fall in Scorpio. She's not comfortable in the sign of Scorpio. Scorpio is, the moon in Scorpio here. This is really kind of giving the energy of intense emotions and revelations. It kind of feels like sudden sort of outpouring or eruption of feeling, like an eruption of maybe if they're feeling sort of simmering kind of below. Scorpio is a water sign that is traditionally ruled by the planet Mars, the planet of war and fire and heat and passion. And so, Scorpio, I think, is a sign that really sort of likes control. It likes to sort of control its environment. It kind of likes to control what it's feeling, but it has this sort of intense sort of emotional life. Both Taurus and Scorpio are signs that really like to be in control. And this full moon in Scorpio is sort of like asking I really kind of want to say like let go a little bit, essentially. And this full moon is going to have you letting go, like kind of whether you like it or not, especially if you have Taurus, Scorpio, or even Leo and Aquarius kind of heavily featured in your chart because they're all fixed signs. So this full moon is very kind of sudden outpourings of feeling, eruption of sort of dormant emotional energy with that Scorpio energy. I'm also going to say if you're intuitively inclined, if you're connected to energy and sensitive and, connected to like metaphysical stuff and like the vibes, very witchy full moon. Very much a full moon of like intuition and I think gut knowing at a very kind of all-time high around this full moon. Very, like not to be reductive, but this is very sort of witchy energy. This would be a good time to like do a tarot reading for yourself or like connect somehow because the answers you will get around this full moon will be I would say like I'll only do it if you want to know like the real truth because the energy around this full moon is feeling like unflinching in its answers. Like, yes, here's the answer. It's completely like this is not a cozy full moon where your feelings aren't hurt. Like this might hurt your feelings a little bit, right? Part of the reason why this full moon is so intense is because it is configured to the planet Uranus. The sun is coming into a conjunction with Uranus at this time. It'll have that exact conjunction on May 17th, which we're going to talk about. Um, and so the full moon opposite to Uranus, there's definitely like maybe sudden change energy around this full moon. It's like if you've been feeling like I kind of need to break away from this job or this relationship or this thing in my life, this full moon can have you be like, I'm doing it. I'm done. Like I'm walking away. Because Uranus can signify separations and kind of breaking away from things and just kind of erratic energy. It's like people may be behaving out of character a little bit around this full moon. And this could also just be like revelations. It's like if you've been wanting to sort of tell someone how you feel, it just may kind of come out during this full moon. And this is it's just kind of giving like the feeling of like sudden upsets. It's, I saw, God, one of my favorite astrologers, Catherine Urban, she always such good, like, uh, titles for her videos. And I haven't watched her video yet, but I think she labeled it like pressure cooker or like pressure cooker, like explodes or something like that. And that's like the imagery I had in my head. She always beats me to it. So, really, she's a fantastic astrologer. I like her a lot. But I really see that imagery of like that pressure cooker sudden like boiling or like it's suddenly kind of exploding kind of like around this full moon. So this can definitely be sudden upsets, but also sudden insights, sudden aha moments. Uranus is very associated with aha moments from the universe, lightning bolt moments, sudden moments of insight and just awareness. And so, yeah, I just definitely get ready for that. This full moon is ruled by Mars. Traditionally, Scorpio is ruled by Mars. And this is Mars and Leo. Mars and Leo is not shy. It is very much about passion. Leo is very connected to the heart as well. So it's like, here's what's on my heart. Like this is a very passionate kind of heated full moon. This is square Mars by sign, not by degree. It's pretty far away, I think, to be squaring it by degree, but by sign, Mars is, this is not necessarily a confrontational full moon, but this is not a full moon where we're shying away from things. It's like, here's how I feel. I'm laying it all out on the table. Also, I said in my May 2025 video that Mars is trine Venus, but it's separating, meaning like the planets are pulling away from each other. I'm a dum-dum. It is not separating. In fact, it is they're kind of dancing with each other for a lot of May. Mars and Venus are in this like steamy trine for really all of May because they're really kind of at pace with each other. If you kind of look at this, it's like it only kind of builds in strength. So there is like, maybe there's an explosion in a relationship, but it explodes in the bedroom in like a really good way. I mean, Mars and Venus are in fire signs. This is kind of like a classic passionate kind of sensual kind of combination. Either way, it does kind of feel like social activity with people in some kind of like passionate, kind of fiery kind of connection. So there is a lot of like steamy kind of energy to this full moon. We will talk about what that means for your rising sign at the end of this video, FYI. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about the May 17th and May 18th. What's going on with the Sun and Uranus, and also Mercury square Mars, basically the same day. So let's talk about that. All right. Okay. If we kind of zoom over to May 17th, May 18th, we have the extension of this full moon energy, essentially, with the sun and Taurus coming into conjunction with Uranus. By the way, this is the last full moon in Scorpio, or new moon into last lunation in Taurus and Scorpio, that we're going to that Uranus is going to be involved. Uranus has been very involved in a lot of these fixed sign lunations. So Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, and Taurus. Uranus being this planet of revolution and breakthroughs and sudden change. Like a lot of my later degree Taurus and Scorpio and later degree Leo and Aquarius, the past like year or two have really been feeling this energy of like, it's a little destabilizing. It's asking you to like break through limitations, but it's kind of uncomfortable. Signs don't really want to break through limitations. We want to kind of keep things the same. But this is the last full moon, and this is the last Sun conjunction to Uranus, that we're going to have with Uranus and Taurus, because Uranus will be going into Gemini in July. It's going to finish out its time in Taurus later in the year, but Uranus changing signs is a very big deal. So May 17th, we have the Sun conjunction to Uranus. That kind of peaks about 5:30 p.m. Denver time, Saturday the 17th. The Sun conjunct Uranus. Okay, this is just kind of general energy that's going to be in the air on Saturday, Friday and Saturday, I would say, or really kind of this whole week, to be quite honest with you. Um, it says on a general level, pro level, electricity, exciting. It's different energy. It's going to encourage you to maybe do things a different way, or to take a different route to work, or like to wear different clothes, or to try something new. That's like the kind of general pro list, right? It can also be a rebellious, rash, and impulsive energy. Again, on the pro, this is a day this year, especially if you have fixed signs, Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, later degrees. It doesn't matter. You're going to be feeling that if you do have those, some placements kind of near that degree of 27 degrees where this is. But even if you don't, you can still feel in the air, and you have Taurus in your chart somewhere, right? So this energy is good for helping to break up patterns and old frameworks, and kind of clearing away limiting beliefs and sort of limiting things. Hold on one second. I think I just unplugged my computer. One moment. So this energy can help you, like, it's like, why do I always do things like this way? Like, this way's better. Or like, why do I have this belief that I'm not good enough or whatever? It's like helping you to kind of clear away limiting beliefs and limiting energy. And again, like the full moon, this energy is really kind of packed with sudden aha moments, sudden insight, some kind of moments of genius. Like Uranus is associated with like genius energy and just kind of brilliance. So it could be like you might find like a brilliant solution to something, like around this day. This is also accident prone and impulsive energy. Wear a helmet, like buckle your seatbelt around this day, because this can just be a more accident prone kind of energy, especially because around the same time we have Mercury in Taurus squaring Mars. So these energies are basically happening at the same time. Technically, the Sun is conjunct Uranus about 5:30 p.m. on Saturday, and then about 4:30 in the morning that Sunday is when Mars and Mercury are in that square. But we can feel that energy kind of around basically Saturday, because most of us are not going to be awake at 4:30 a.m. So okay. So yes, Sun conjunct Uranus over here, but then we have this I cannot talk, Mars square Mercury aspect. So Mercury, planet of communication, making a difficult aspect, difficult but dynamic and really felt aspect to Mercury, that planet of communication. These planets are both in fixed signs. These planets are not backing down from each other. The positive to this energy of Mercury square Mars is this is the energy to tackle mental or menial tasks that require some determination. Determination because these planets are in fixed signs. And it's like Mars and Mercury are kind of energizing each other. It's like, okay, there's this project in the garage that I need to organize. I've been avoiding it for some time, but now I have the energy just to deal with it. Or like I have the energy to like do my taxes. Well, hopefully you've done your taxes by now. I mean, I low key filed an extension. So I gotta do mine still. But um the cons of this energy, it feels kind of argumentative. Mercury square Mars is a classic kind of arguing kind of energy, or words as weapons kind of energy, words as knives. Um, it's like Mercury and Taurus might be concerned about the sort of about like practical things. And again, Mercury and Taurus and Mars and Leo, these planets are really not backing down from each other. It kind of feels like we're arguing with a brick wall. And again, this energy is also kind of accident prone. It's kind of giving like I drove too fast and didn't see that thing, and then I hit the curb, right? Because Mercury is transportation, and just kind of how like like general kind of menial stuff that we're sort of Mercury can be like how we get around essentially. So, and it's also kind of impulsive. It's kind of like on this day, it's like I wouldn't drink too much caffeine or stimulants or things that get you like super, super hyped up, because we're going to be really hyped with the energy in the air. So cut back on your coffee a little bit or your energy drinks around that day, just because we're like gonna be a little bit prone to get a little hot right away, or just to kind of lead to conclusions is kind of the feeling. But yeah, I'm saying like, hey, if you're riding a motorcycle, helmet, buckle your seatbelt. If you're in a car, kind of watch where you're going. Try to slow down your energy a little bit that day if possible, just because of what we talked about. So let's kind of look at those full moon horoscopes again for each of the signs, and we will go ahead and start with Aries. Aries rising. Um, the full moon does land in your eighth house. There's maybe some sort of tug of war or something with finances that we're wanting control over. This is having maybe some realizations of what you want to do with your money. This specifically is credit cards, loans, student loans, financial aid, inheritance, things connected to estate, matters of mortality. And also, I'm going to say just like deeper kind of gut level instinct realizations and sort of intuitive hits as well, or realizing some of the emotional dynamics of like your relationships as well. Later that week, there is that Sun Uranus conjunction in your second house. So it could be like, hey, sudden, I mean, I'm going to say probably not a sudden windfall, but it's like, hey, let's suddenly spend some money on something, or suddenly have an idea of some kind of income stream or something like that. But there's some sudden kind of aha energy around money. And let's look at Taurus. Um, Taurus, I mean, really like the start of this full moon. I think the letting go and maybe not wanting, just like letting yourself not be in control for once, is going to be helpful for you around this full moon. This full moon is definitely has to do with like relationships. Um, like I think you might feel that sort of like electrical kind of energy from the Sun and Uranus this week as well. Of like, you know what, I'm ready to I'm ready to embrace this. I'm ready to clear away that. I'm ready to let this go. I have a sudden idea for something, but there's some sudden development in your relationships. It could be a breaking away. It could be a separation. It could just be like a sudden like outpouring of feeling. Essentially, it might, but in a way that is in a way that is some I cannot talk, in a way that is kind of unexpected. Gemini rising specifically. By the way, these horoscopes, rising sign. I really would watch for your rising sign, and then your sun or your moon if you want, but definitely rising sign first. Gemini rising, there's maybe like sudden realizations or a sudden ending or change, culmination. about your work. It's about your work, how you work, your workplace, your coworkers, people who work for you, um, your workflow. It could be some sudden insight about health as well, about like health and physical body things, and sort of because like the full moon is in the sixth house, and it's kind of how we toil. Sixth house is like not super fun stuff usually, right? It's like work and health kind of stuff. But I'm seeing like a sudden kind of like insight happening in that part of your chart for you, or maybe even ending as well. Um, Cancer rising, full moon for you is fifth house. So um, it could be something sudden. It could be like a sudden ending or completion, having to do with like a child. It could be something. It could be like, hey, we're deciding that we want to have a baby, that we are getting pregnant, or something connected to like pregnancy and childbirth. It could be that there's like there could be like an frankly like an explosion of passion, frankly, connected to sexual energy, connected to creative energy, or just like your mind may be on fun, but there's something intense about how you have the fun. It's like mommy hasn't gone out in a while. She's getting together like with her girls and she's getting some fucking drinks, or something like that. Or it could also be a romantic relationship that reaches some kind of sudden conclusion, or is sort of taken to the next level. Um, with Leo rising, the full moon is landing in your fourth house. So this is more of a private kind of family home matter for you. It could be it could be sudden news connected to a parent or a family member, or something sudden connected to your home, like a sudden ending, or like, hey, we have to move, or there's some sort of development around your home or real estate. It could also be something emotional too, like connected to family. It's like, hey, I'm like realizing this family dynamic that's like really been kind of brewing for some time, and I realize that like, hey, like my parent figure was, I don't know, like you could just sort of like realize some sort of like emotional dynamic, or have like sudden insight and awareness connected to family. That's Sun Uranus conjunction later on in the week on the 17th. Could be something to do with career. It could be like sudden opportunity, sudden new thing connected to career, or some sort of like career or authority figure. That Mars Mercury square is directly connected to you. You're really not pulling your punches right now. Like, you're like, let's fucking go. You want to come for me, bro? Kind of energy. It's just you have like that very active, kind of passionate energy going on because Mars is in your sign. I want to say just when Mars goes through your first house of body, you still want to be careful because first house can be health. And, Mars going through your first house can be a little bit more inflammation. And I'm going to say you're going to feel maybe a little bit argumentative, or like this Saturday, the 18th, or Saturday, the 17th, Sunday, the 18th. Or it could just be that you're doing a lot of sort of communication, work related things, and it's like there's just like a lot of activity between your career sector and your personal sphere. It doesn't have to be argumentative, but it definitely feels like you're really really active this week. Okay, so Virgo rising, the full moon is falling in your third house. This is sort of getting something off of your chest that you want to say. This is a sudden completion of a communications related project, or a sudden completion of a class, or that you're suddenly really interested in taking a course of study or something like that. It could be something coming up, like a sudden change, relating to your commute or mode of transportation. And there could be news involving like a sibling or neighbor. And I do kind of feel like you're going to be connecting a lot to your philosophy and beliefs this week, or there's something kind of new or sudden involving education, travel, something connected, or something connected to like media or publishing as well, with that Sun Uranus conjunction in your ninth house. Libra rising, the full moon is in your second house of money. I really kind of feel like there might be a little bit of tension with you and resources, your cash and movable assets, your earned income, how you get paid. So there could be a sudden ending there. There could be just like a change in how you make your money or what you're doing with your money. And I'm gonna say, like, just for you, like you and Aries, I'm gonna say like let go of control around finances right now, or there's maybe some sort of tug of war with finances, or your mind is just on it a little bit more than usual. It doesn't have to be anything negative. But it does feel like maybe some sudden news around that. And yes, okay. Scorpio rising. I think you're going to be feeling very tuned in and very emotional this week. Really tuned into your intuition, really kind of tuned into the ether. I would definitely find some time to meditate this week and just like clear your energy. This full moon for you is very, I think it's going to feel a little bit more profound and really kind of get you in touch with your feelings. Let your feelings come up. Like, let go. Let go of control. Let your feelings come up. There is I do feel like you're going to be having some realizations and insights, those big aha moments, kind of putting some things to bed, concluding some things in your life. You're kind of getting ready to embark on like a next chapter. This full moon is just really powerful. And there's something to be happening in relationships for you as well. We just had a new moon in that part of your chart, like a new start in relationships. This Sun Uranus conjunction kind of later this week could bring something exciting, unusual to your partnership sphere. It's like relationship, it's business. It could bring like a new business partner or something, or a new relationship, or sudden kind of development in relationships. It could also bring just like, hey, um, it can also bring you like insight about your relationships too. Like you're suddenly ready to move on from something, or you are suddenly ready to commit to something as well. Also, you're really kind of focused, I think, on career right now too, with Mars and Leo, and there's a lot of activity with your career sector and also your partnership sphere that weekend of the 18th. It could be argumentative energy. It also could just be very dynamic, like dynamic problem solving energy, or really kind of mentally active energy. Sagittarius, the full moon for you is falling in your 12th house. So, Sagittarius rising, this is sort of clearing away things from the past, clearing out the karmic closet, so to speak. This is getting a little bit of, I think you should have a little bit of alone time. This feels like a kind of a sacred time to kind of release something, like to let go of something, to release something. You could be realizing things that you just haven't seen because the 12th house is your shadow, or getting insight and awareness on like just like sudden insights and sudden revelations of it's like, oh my God, I've been like plagued with this for years, and now I kind of know why, or I know why this person treated me that way, or I know why my childhood was like that, or something like that. But also get some rest, get some retreat, get some time in your sort of private temple. Um, as for later that week, 17th, 18th, there could be something new, sudden, unusual happening in your work life, your workflow, or with physical health. It's sort of like, oh, I really want to try this exercise class I've never done before. Or like there's some sort of new work assignment that comes in that's sort of really different for you. Capricorn rising, the full moon is falling in your 11th house. So something with your friendships, with your social relationships, clubs, groups. It could be like an ending to to a group affiliation that you have, some sort of completion, or some sort of culmination, or like some. But I feel like it could be breaking away, it could be ending, or just some sudden development with a friend, or connected to your social kind of life at large, or your professional life, like socially. It could also be like that the 11th house is also your hopes, wishes, and goals for the future. So it could be like you like achieving a goal, or I think more likely just kind of maybe like changing what your goals are, essentially. As far as the 17th and 18th goes, that could be a sudden, unusual, new thing, or connected to romance. It's like sudden. It's like a sudden. It's like a flirtation with like someone that we like maybe don't usually go for, or a sudden fascination with like a new creative project, or there's something new and different going on with like a child in your life. Aquarius rising, full moon is happening in the 10th house for you. So it is some kind of maybe realization or culmination, completion, breaking away, or ending having to do with your career. It could be that the spotlight is just really on you right now. It could be that an authority figure in your life has like some like sudden shocking news, or perhaps they're leaving, or some kind of change connected to your public and professional reputation right now. Um, but your chart is pretty active during this week, because we also have that Sun Uranus conjunction in your fourth house of home and family. It could just be something new, unusual, sudden, different, connected to family, or sudden news connected to family. Um, And then that same day, we do have that Mars Mercury square on the 17th and 18th, and that is going on in your seventh house of relationships and fourth house of home and family. So perhaps we're like kind of arguing with a family member right now, or um, I don't know how to put this. It's like your seventh house of partnership, business, and romantic platonic relationships is just kind of hot right now, maybe a little inflamed, right? It's like dynamic, it's hot, but maybe a little edgy. And maybe there's something coming up with family or home right now that feels a little edgy or something, or perhaps I don't really know how to put it. But there's that Mars Mercury energy is it's connecting your home life, home and family, and relationships, and they're not exactly getting along, or there's just like a lot of dynamic energy between those two things. This that weekend of the 17th and 18th. Pisces rising, full moon for you is in the ninth house. This could be you like really passionately defending your beliefs, or really passionately connecting to your beliefs, your personal spirituality and philosophy. It could be the ending of something connected to travel or something connected to higher education, or maybe like a completion or culmination, like relating to that. It could also be that we are like ending, or there's some kind of high point connected to like publishing or broadcasting, or even something like Satanist. It could be like something like there's like a lot of activity like around your YouTube channel, or perhaps that you have news that like you're going to write a book or something, right? But either way, it feels like a little unexpected, or just kind of this like kind of explosion of passion and that part of your chart. Um, so yeah, that's what we got going on. Let me mention the Sun Uranus part in your chart too. So there's a Sun Uranus conjunction in the third house. It could be something connected to like something new, sudden, unusual. Maybe you want to suddenly take a course, or maybe perhaps you stumble upon some new and exciting information that kind of rocks your world a little bit. There can be something new and unusual connected to a sibling or neighbor, or just kind of how you get around to travel in your commute as well. So that is what we have for this week. Let me know how you're feeling this energy in the comments. Make sure that you like the video and subscribe as well. And again, yeah, if you're needing more insight, I'm definitely taking clients for the second half of May. So get on board. Those will be closed probably by the middle of the month, I'm assuming. So anyway, talk to y'all soon. I'll be back, and have a great full moon in Scorpio. Thanks, guys.